Hey there, friends. So earlier this week on New Year's Day, I shared with you that I was not setting goals on that day. I was getting clear with how I wanted to feel. And I shared what 2025 has taught me and how I'm orienting myself in 2026. And a few of you have asked how I actually turn this into real change without it feeling like another list of goals. I don't really work with goals anymore. I like to call them intentions, and I do create intentions for my year. This gives me a place for my brain to focus. It gives me a roadmap for where I want to go. But when I set intentions, my brain doesn't freak out as something that I have to achieve. It's more about who I am becoming in the process. And intentions focus on really how I want to live, how I want to feel, not just on what I want to accomplish. So step one is getting clear on your intention. So the first thing that I decide is how I want to feel this year in my mind, my body, my home, and my soul. This becomes my orientation. This becomes my roadmap, my compass that tells me what my true north is. And then step two is stackable goals or stackable intentions, right? I create these small stackable intentions that support the way that I want to feel. These are simple actions I can repeat. These are not promises that I have to force myself to do. For each one, I name why it matters to me and what might get in the way of me reaching this intention. Because planning for those obstacles is really being kind to yourself, and it is showing your brain that you're already predicting what might happen and not allow you to be able to reach that intention, or what might get in the way so you can plan a different route, right? Next, I choose the strategy that fits my real life. Not be more disciplined, but what is actually going to work in my life? And then I put it on paper. I write it down and I put it on my calendar. And this holds me accountable, because when it's scheduled, then it's not just a nice idea. It becomes a place for me to orient to, right? A place for me to go. But it's not about getting there. It's about who I become in the process. And then step 4 is setting those impossible intentions. And I always include these, not to pressure myself, but to grow. What is an impossible goal that I can set that seems so far out of reach? Maybe I'll get there, but it's becoming that person in the process, and it's taking those small steps to get there, right? This is how I'm using what 2025 taught me to orient myself to 2026. Intentions first, structure second, and then growth over time, not immediate, right? If you want help creating your intentions that actually fit your life, I am offering a free coaching session. It's just a space to talk things through, get clarity, and see how this approach can support you. No pressure, no deadlines to meet. It's just learning, right? Because in the classroom of life, we get to learn what works and what doesn't work. You can request a free session through the link in my bio, and let's get going on orienting ourselves in 2026. How do you want to feel, and where do you want to get to?